Welcome back to Mindly. Today, we're diving into the world of manipulation tactics. Whether it's in relationships, the workplace, or elsewhere, understanding these tactics can empower you to recognize and respond to manipulation effectively. So here are 20 of the most common manipulation tactics. 1. Gaslighting. This tactic often involves subtle manipulation tactics such as denying events, trivializing concerns, or shifting blame. Over time, it can lead the victim to question their own reality and erode their confidence. 2. Isolation. Manipulators may isolate their victims by controlling their access to friends, family, or social activities. This isolation can make the victim more dependent on the manipulator for emotional support and validation. 3. Guilt tripping. Manipulators may use emotional manipulation techniques such as sighing, sulking, or passive-aggressive comments to make the victim feel guilty. They might also bring up past favors or sacrifices to leverage guilt. 4. Love bombing. This tactic often involves excessive praise, declarations of love, and grand gestures of affection early in a relationship. It can create a false sense of intimacy and trust, making the victim more susceptible to manipulation. 5. Playing the victim. Manipulators may portray themselves as victims to garner sympathy and manipulate others into feeling sorry for them. They may exaggerate or fabricate stories of hardship to evoke an emotional response. 6. Fearmongering. Manipulators use fear tactics to control others by exaggerating potential dangers or consequences. This can create a sense of urgency or panic, making the victim more likely to comply with the manipulator's demands. 7. Silent treatment. By ignoring or refusing to communicate with the victim, manipulators can exert control and punish them for perceived wrongs. The silence is often used as a form of emotional manipulation to make the victim feel guilty or anxious. 8. Triangulation. Manipulators may involve a third party to manipulate relationships, create jealousy, or undermine trust between individuals. They may use gossip, rumors, or comparisons to control the dynamics of the relationship. 9. Selective information sharing. Manipulators often manipulate perceptions by selectively sharing information or distorting facts to control the narrative. They may omit key details or present information out of context to influence how others perceive a situation. 10. Flattery and charm. Manipulators use charm and flattery to gain trust, lower defenses, and manipulate others into doing their bidding. They may shower the victim with compliments or praise to build rapport and establish control. 11. Promises and lies. Manipulators may make false promises or lie about their intentions to manipulate others into believing or doing what they want. They may use deception to exploit trust and manipulate outcomes in their favor. 12. Shifting goalposts. Manipulators may continuously change the terms or expectations of a situation to keep the victim off balance and maintain control. This can create confusion and make it difficult for the victim to meet the manipulator's ever-changing demands. 13. Emotional blackmail. Manipulators use emotional manipulation and coercion to control others by threatening to withhold love, approval, or support unless the victim complies with their demands. They exploit the victim's emotions and vulnerabilities to gain control over them. 14. Overwhelm and confusion. Manipulators may deliberately create chaos or confusion to overwhelm the victim's ability to think clearly and make informed decisions. This tactic can make the victim more susceptible to manipulation by clouding their judgment and increasing their reliance on the manipulator for guidance. 15. Denial and deflection. Manipulators often refuse to acknowledge their own wrongdoing or deflect blame onto others to avoid accountability. They may use tactics such as denial, minimization, or shifting focus to divert attention away from their own actions. 16. Intermittent reinforcement. Manipulators alternate between positive and negative reinforcement to maintain control over the victim. By intermittently rewarding or punishing certain behaviors, they keep the victim guessing and seeking approval, creating dependency on the manipulator. 17. Projection. Manipulators project their own negative traits, feelings, or actions onto others as a way to avoid facing their own shortcomings or guilt. By attributing their own faults to the victim, they deflect responsibility and manipulate perceptions of the situation. 18. Selective memory. Manipulators may selectively remember or distort past events to manipulate perceptions and justify their current behavior. They may conveniently forget details that don't support their narrative or reinterpret events in their favor. 19. Manufactured crises. Manipulators create or exaggerate problems to manipulate others into taking specific actions or providing support. By manufacturing crises, they create a sense of urgency or desperation that makes the victim more likely to comply with their demands. 20. Pity play. Manipulators use expressions of self-pity, helplessness, or victimhood to evoke sympathy and gain advantages or concessions from others. They may play up their hardships or exaggerate their suffering to manipulate the emotions of those around them. Remember, being aware of these tactics empowers you to recognize and respond effectively to manipulation in various aspects of life. Stay informed, stay empowered.